Back in January, I put out a huge video where I compared almost every Tomoe River paper planner, all the Hobonichi alternatives, except I left out, in my opinion, the most well-crafted and tastefully designed one. But today, we're gonna fix that because I'm finally holding the Papertess Designs yearly notebook in my hands. And I was not joking when I said this is the most tastefully designed planner in its category. I have so much to show you. It's kind of hard to keep it all in right now, but in the interest of keeping this video nice and organized for you, I'm gonna contain myself. But that's not all, you guys. The real star of the show is Papertess Designs' first venture out of the Tomoe River paper world with her coiled teacher planner. She designed this with her sister, who is an actual teacher, and it does not disappoint. Just like her yearly notebook, the design choices and craftsmanship are on point. Thank you to Papertess for sponsoring this video, and without further ado, let's jump right in. Now, you guys, that was not all. I have a whole pile of beautiful planners and notebooks that Papertess sent me to do a quick showcase in this video with. And we are going to get to all of these. And probably my favorite one out of all the Tomoe River paper planners that she sent, I have already jumped into this beauty, the yearly notebook. I've done pen testing for you guys on her paper, and we are going to get into all this. But first, we're going to do a very thorough walkthrough of her brand new teacher planner. If you have followed her on Instagram, social media, you've seen her introduce this planner and share how her sister, who is a teacher, helped her design every single detail in here. I am a former public school teacher turned homeschool mom, so I love teacher planners. I love to look at them. I love to think about different uses for them too. And I'm gonna show you some of those different uses, which I thought of today and filled out some spreads. But first of all, look, this beautiful teacher planner comes in this keepsake linen box. It is completely wrapped in linen, front and back, with gold foiling embossed there on the front. Your teacher planner starts in July 2025 and runs through the end of July 2026. It has a magnet on the side there. That's what keeps it shut. So if you are not keeping this box to save your planner in, it is a beautiful keepsake box for cards, for letters, for certificates, anything that you need to store. You have a ribbon here to pop your planner out. The color of your box coordinates with the color of the planner that you choose. I have this beautiful sage green. The pages in this planner are just about 8 by 10. They're right under 8 at about 7.75. So you have a B5 size planner. All the specs for this planner are outlined on her website. So let's just go through a full walkthrough. You have a really nice, secure, big accordion pocket up front here. So nice to have that because I feel you could fit a lot of paper in here, a lot of sticker sheets, whatever you need to put in there. You have your nameplate page. Then you go into 2 dot grid pages, and I love how the dot grids are very light. And then you go into 2 lined pages. That was my fountain pen that bled over here, not bled over, that got stuck on this page because I closed this page too soon after I did my fountain pen test. I doubt that many people are going to be writing in the teacher planner with a fountain pen, but I wanted to do a test for you. I tested all kinds of pens, mild liner, dual tip markers, Papermate flares. I wanted to do some heavyweight pens, like this is a Writech 0.7, very, very inky. And I also write pretty heavy-handed. Let's look at the pen test. This paper is 83 GSM, which equates to about 54-pound text weight, but it handles all pen and markers really well. It's a very unique paper. It's called the Cosmo Air Light Paper. Papertess also has a notebook that's done in this, so some of you guys may have used it. I'd love for you to chime in down below what you think about this paper. It has, I would call it a little grip to it. Maybe tooth. I don't really call it tooth though, the way it feels. It has a little grip to it, but it is a smooth surface. It is honestly different than any other paper I've ever felt. And yet it takes pen, marker, mild liner really well, and nothing bled through. Even the darkest, most inky fountain pens, mild liners, absolutely no bleed through. You are going to have that little bit of ghosting with it, and that is just part of this paper. Kind of like the Tomoe River paper, but this is not nearly the amount of ghosting that you get with the Tomoe River paper. I will show you that test later in the video. So you have those couple sheets of notes up front. And then what I love is every single section is tabbed. So you have information section first. It's a cardstock page, really nice Mylar tabs with gold for your lettering on there, the gold foiling. So in your information section, you have a dot grid page. Then you have a communication log. The communication log runs over a 2-page spread. So date, name, reason for communication, communication details, and follow-up details. So you have plenty of room for that. You have 1 page of an appointment log, date, day, time, appointment, if they came. So that's kind of nice to check off if you have like parent appointments and if they showed up. You have some address pages. You have 2 password login information pages. Then you have 3 more lightly lined pages. All the information on the line spacing and the dot grid spacing and all that is all on her website. The number of pages in this book is 368 pages, so you get a lot in here. You have the YRO binding in a matte, beautiful gold. I really like the color of that gold. Then your next section is My Class. You have a dot grid page, and on the back of that, you have student information, name of the student for up to 41 students, birth date, phone number, email, and contact info. And I do like how your numbers are continued on this side. So if you give your kids in your class a number, each of them, and you're just trying to also keep track if you're on the right line or not all the way across, that's another good reason to have those numbers continued. You have a page just for birthdays, so you can list everyone's birthday and see it across the whole year right here. You have 4 class schedule pages. This 2-page spread is repeated 4 times. So you have the time of the class, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the way across for up to 10 class times. You have a note space and a seating information graph grid page over here where you could draw out your seating and or put where people are sitting for that. So you have 4 of those. Then you go into classroom resources, class subject, resource material, notes, class subject, resource material, notes. You have classroom expenses, date, description, price, notes, repeated here. Then you have 3 more lined pages. So in every section, you're getting some extra pages in there too. You have a whole checklist section, once again, starts with a dot grid. Then you have checklist pages with the light grayed out lines alternating so it's easy to keep track of it across. And these pages are just repeated all through this entire section. You have 15 checklist spreads in here. Your next section is plans and ideas. Starts with your dot grid page. You have a yearly overview for the whole 2025 year. So that's your calendar year. It's a Monday start. Weekends are bolded, and you have the week number next to it also. Then you have special dates and holidays, once again for 2025 here, room to write those in for every month. Then you have a 2026 overview, calendar year, same thing, and special dates and holidays. Then you have important dates to be able to write in for every single month, but this is starting at your school year month where this planner starts in July. Weekends are shaded gray, and you have some notes room at the bottom. And then your next semester starting in January for important dates. Then you even have like planning ahead because this is for July 2026 through December 2026. Then you have 2025 here. You have the calendar for that month, a little note space, a date written, class, and subject. So to make any kind of plans that you need to make for what you're teaching in those specific months. Could also be, I'm guessing, like ideas and goals noted out here. And you have it all the way through 2026 September, then additional information. Then you have plans and ideas. And that's starting in the month of July. Plans, ideas, goals, notes you need to make in there. And that goes all the way through 2026 December. Then you have more plans and ideas where you have 6 different categories divided up per page. That continues on the back, and then you have just some lined and then some dot grid pages for plans and ideas. Then you start with your very first month, July. You start with your monthly dashboard. I love the fonts she's used. It's just so aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So month at a glance, July dashboard, you have your like number 7 written up there and your year 2025. Things to remember, you have about 5 lines there, and then you have top priority, top priorities numbered 1 through 5. You have to-do list lines with tick off boxes, so many of those, and 2 boxes that I'm guessing will fit a sticky note perfectly. I had to grab a sticky note for us to see, yeah, and it fits a Post-it note perfectly. So I love that you could have 2 different colored Post-it notes in there, and that just kind of makes them stand out from the rest of the page. Of course, you could just use the box without a Post-it note too. Now start thinking, if you're not a teacher, would this planner work for you for anything? Because I've thought of several different uses, and we're going to get into that when we get into the weekly spread. I love this dashboard, how nothing in it really has to be teacher specific. Like this could be anybody's dashboard for the month and it would work for you. Your monthly layouts are a Monday start, so Saturday and Sunday are together. You have 6 weeks, so you're never going to have a day split. You have the number of the week that you're in going down the side here, as well as a box there for the week that you could denote anything that you need to. You have some note space at the bottom. I feel like the page real estate on the monthly layout was used very well. Then you have your month at a glance. So you have some note space up here, and then you have the days of the month, 1 through 31, and a really big writing space. So you could write out anything you want for each day of the month. It could even be a gratitude. Then you have 4 different sections over here with to-do list tick-off boxes labeled master list. Then we go into our weekly spread. Let's go through some examples of how you can use this, whether you're a teacher or if you're not a teacher. There are so many ways that you can use planners like this, especially since it's Monday through Friday. If you're using it for a work purpose, it is absolutely perfect for that because it also leaves you a massive amount of notes room when you don't have a Saturday and Sunday there. However, if you did really want to use it as your full-time planner, you could easily add a Saturday and Sunday by drawing a line down there, or you could draw it horizontally also, however it works best for you on Saturday and Sunday. With those very light lines being there, I feel like it's very easy to divide that way. So I'll show you an example with black pen too. It looks very different with blue or black pen. I love how different planners look based on different colored pens that you use. I personally am just loving blue pens at this stage in my life. They just make the page happy to me. So I went down and used this as if you are a mom and you're using this as your planner. I would personally put appointments up here for me, housework, what's my workout. Then you could have 5 kids and still have a slot for dinner, and you'd have where every single kid is going. Like someone's at art club, someone's prepping dinner for you, someone's at basketball practice, one of your kids is watching the youngest one. The next day, not everyone is somewhere, but you can have where those kids are, and you have like work on a science project to remember that. So it really can divide up every section of your life. Here, of course, is how you would use it if you were a teacher. You would have, I just numbered the subjects, but you probably wouldn't do that if you were a teacher. I'm just showing you that there are 9 slots. And I put ILA, which is Integrated Language Arts. We have that here. I know school is so different everywhere, but I just put the first thing that came to mind for me. So I put like Integrated Language Arts. That would be your 6th grade. Then they're teaching a life science. Then they have a lunch. Then they have a life science. Then they have another ILA 6. They have a planning period, which is nice because you can write what you want to get done in that specific planning period that day. Another life science. And then I put her after school club. Some teachers are involved with after school clubs or practice after school. And so they can write what they're doing in there. I love that nice wide column for notes. And just some other ideas of ways you can use this. Homeschool would be so perfect for this. You could use subjects, or you could have your kids listed for homeschool. I love that there's 9 sections, that there's probably enough to list all the subjects you're doing for high school. I mean, for homeschool, even spread across all your kids. Like you might have, algebra, but then you might have your elementary kiddos math, your high schoolers history. There's just so much you can do with the 9 sections. As someone who wants to time block, this makes perfect time blocking slots during your day. I've heard of moms with younger kids time blocking like, what am I get done in the morning before the kids wake up? So that's like you're before the kids wake up. This is like you're in getting the kids ready. And they sometimes label time blocking sections as like the first nap time, the second nap time. What am I going to get done in that section? You can change that, of course, as your kids grow. But I've done a lot of videos on time blocking. You could put your areas of life like I did in this example right here, like appointments, housework, workout. You could have more areas of your life if you didn't have 5 kids that you wanted to list there. And or of course, this could just be like a family planner and you could have like your name, your husband's name, your kid's name, and like your dinner. And then everyone could check where is everyone on that day if you're busy with a lot of practices and older kids that also have a job. So those are just some ideas of how to use it and how it looks with pen written on this paper. Of course, we already went over the pen test, but you can see how it looks as you look a page before it is written on there. You can see a little bit of ghosting, but not anything like the Tomoe River paper. And if you follow Papertess on Instagram, she's been sharing so many different ways, different mock layouts to use this teacher planner. So if you are interested in some of these products, I would highly recommend following her. And then at the end of the month, you have 2, 4, 5 dot grid pages. And then you go into the next month. You have your dashboard, then you have your monthly layout, then you have your month at a glance and your master list. Then you have your weekly layouts. So do you see why this planner has over 300 something pages? Because you really are getting so much. There's so much planning room and notes for every month. So your tab does not open on a monthly layout. It is just the cardstock page, and then it opens to your dashboard and then your monthly layout and your month at a glance and your master list. That is the flow of this teacher planner. When you get to the end, like I said, your last month is July of 2026 and it starts in July of 2025. So you're actually getting a 13-month planner in here. So you're getting an extra month. You have a notes tab. And in this note section, you have 8 lined, 8 dot grid, and 8 grid pages. So you have a good mix in there. Then you have another really tough, I'm trying to pull this off. It's not coming off. You can't pull this hard on all planners. A really, really well adhered accordion pocket in the back too. So a pocket up front and a pocket up back. And that is your beautifully crafted teacher planner. The linen feels so nice in hand. Here is a look at your YRO binding. It just says Papertess Designs on the bottom back, and it feels so good in hand. You guys, there's no harsh corners to poke you. This linen feels soft and inviting and welcoming, and I think we all know how important the hand feel of a planner is. And just look at that beauty. It's beautiful all over. Okay, so that is the Papertess Teacher Planner launching this year. It's already launched as of when this video came out. Before we jump into some of these other planner and notebooks, I wanted to show you that she does sell hourly washi tape to match up with the grid sizes in Papertess design. They are 12 hours and 4 millimeter grid. And all of her packaging is just absolutely beautifully crafted. Okay, we're gonna go over the yearly notebook, the weekly notebook, a manager's notebook, just a plain notebook, and the manager's notebook, the bigger size. And then we have some of her sewn planners and notebooks to go through. We're just gonna do a really quick run through of these. This is your yearly notebook. I love how it says chapter 25 on there. This is the full year edition, B6 size. It's a really nice vegan leather cover, you guys. It feels so nice in hand, labeled on the side what it is, Papertess Designs on the back. I actually love the B6 size. And I have already written in here a ton. Here is my pen test. It is your typical 52 GSM Tomoe River paper, white. It's the Sanzin Tomoe River paper. It has the soft cover like I talked about. It's very bendable. This particular book has 600 pages. This is a WriteTech 0.7 pen. You have a mild liner, fountain pen, dual tips, Pentel Energel, Papermate Flare, all the pens. And if you turn it over, you can see there is no bleed through, but there is ghosting. So if you're used to Tomoe River paper, then you just know this is the ghosting that you get with it. Most people who use Tomoe River paper love the paper for that, especially I feel like for journaling and memory keeping. By the time it's all done, it makes it feel just like a very used and beautiful book. And you can see how it looks when both sides of the paper are fully written on, even with dark black marker from a dual tip. Look how dark that is, you guys, and look how well the paper handles it. Yes, it's ghosted, and if you didn't draw it through with black like I do, then you wouldn't have those big black ghosting spots, but 0 bleed through. Here are some other pages I wrote on so you can see what it looks like, and then you turn it. This is your weekly layout, and you have a little spot up here too, which I didn't fill in. Anything you need to put there, a focus, a top 3. It says the week number, the month, the year. I love the fonts that she has used in her planners. I think the color of the graph grid is perfect. You can see it well, but it's very light, so it's not distracting. You get to write your day of the week up here, There's one page for every day of the week, and you have the month noted there. I like to use a Tombow right there, brush pen, to just put a little bit of color up there. And you have one page per day. This is what your monthly layout looks like. Monday start, the number of your weeks, room here for notes, room here for notes. And then you have a 2-page just for notes after your monthly layout when you're switching months. Then you go into your new week. Once again, room up top for whatever you want here. You do have header room every day to write your date. And then Monday through Sunday, your dates. You could have your appointments or your meals here or your workouts here. Then a weekly list right here for your week. And that's where I had my little tab so that you could always turn back to the week you're on as you're going through your daily pages. Now, if you didn't need to use a page one day, that's great. Why it's not dated is because let's say you didn't need the page on Monday, you were like busy, and out of the house, and it wasn't really a day that you need mapped out, then you could have 2 pages left for another day. Or if you're using this for journaling or memory keeping, nothing's dated, so you could just be journaling or memory keeping throughout the week. The main thing or gratitude that happened every day, and it's open-ended. So I can see why she left this undated. And that is the flow of this yearly notebook. You do have a really good chunk of blank pages at the end. I know she has listed on the website how many, but that's all your blank grid pages at the end. So a really good chunk. You won't have to carry a separate notebook with you, yet this is so lightweight. Let me show you a few of the pages up front. You have a nameplate page. You have a reference index page, so you can make an index there because every single page is numbered. I love that. 2 blank pages. A yearly overview up here, room for notes or anything that you need to write for each month. A yearly overview for every single month and every single day of the month. Then another one here. This is really good for writing in anything you want to remember that happened throughout the year and look back on. I've used those before. Then you have a quarter 1 breakdown. So you have your first 3 months and room to write out anything you want to be working on for those months. Quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. Really simple, but really functional in my opinion. Then 2 notes pages, and then you go straight into your first month. I feel like it is such a functional notebook, the yearly notebook. And I just love how it's called chapter and the year you're on. Because I do feel like every year is a new chapter, you guys. I think we should start calling the years chapters. Next year will be chapter 26, right? I absolutely love it. And it's easy to flip and find your months with those little monthly tabs on the side. Okay, so that's your B6 yearly notebook. This is a new notebook that's releasing with the teacher planner, and it has the Cosmo Airlight paper also. I believe this is their first notebook they've ever released with that paper, but this paper is like 83 GSM, and this one I believe is 75 GSM. So in this notebook, every single page is numbered, which I love because you can make an index. You have that light graph grid. It lays completely flat, and it has that same feel as this paper that I've described. It has like grip to it. So I guess you would call it a little bit of tooth, but it's not in the way that you would think of tooth because, no, I wouldn't say it has tooth to it because it's a smooth paper, but it has grip to it. I've honestly never felt any other paper like this before. We'll look at a quick pen test back here since this one is a lower weight GSM. Since this one's a little lower weight of the Cosmo Airlight paper, we'll look at a pen test in here and you can see there's absolutely no bleed through, even with a dual tip marker, a mild liner, and a pen. To me, you look like you have, about the same amount of ghosting, but just no bleed through. So this is one of her new notebooks, which the colors that have come out of these notebooks match the teacher planner cover color options, and they make such great combos together. So those are both new with this release. Next up is the manager's notebook. Oh boy, this one has been so popular. I have seen this one all over Instagram. We have it in 2 sizes, the A5 Slim and B5. So really big size difference here. I'll show you what the pages just look like. And all of these lay so flat from like day one. These instantly make me want to jump in and organize my life in here. There are just some planners that scream to me to just write all over them. It doesn't matter what it looks like, which is kind of how I feel about all planners. You guys have seen that. I like that the paper has a tiny bit of creaminess to it, but it's not too creamy. And there's just something about her fonts on this paper and the look of it. It just screams to be written in. So this is your manager's notebook. Here is a look at the different sizes. This one, you'll notice it starts at 6 a.m. So does this one. This one just goes to 2 a.m. and this one goes to 1 a.m. So one less line. You know what? Let's go ahead and look at the manager's notebook in the bigger size, but you can just know it's available in other sizes. This is your weekly layout, this week's focus, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sections here to divide out anything you need to make notes on or work on for the week. This is just such a unique layout. You have what week number you're on right there. You have the month and the year. Then you have from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. You have a slot up here to write your intention for the day or your focus or your weather or anything you want up there. You have less space for Saturday and Sunday and no timed schedule, just little dots there to denote like to-dos. I like how the lines are generously sized to where if you write bigger, and yet they're also generously sized enough that you could definitely, draw a line down the middle, write an 8 o'clock appointment and an 8:30 appointment, obviously in the blank space under the time slot there. So this could definitely be for half-hour appointments too. So if you want to time block your day or you have a lot of appointments, I can see why this is called a manager's notebook. Here's what your monthly layout looks like. You have 6 slots here and one that goes bigger on the bottom with no dividing line, so really 7. Plus you have some extra space here at the bottom. I love how none of your monthly boxes are ever divided. What week of the year you're in is noted over here, but so small and dainty and just beautifully done. You have a little header space up here for each day of the week and just a lot of room on the monthly spread. Really light dotted lines. So lines to help keep you writing neater, but very light to not be obtrusive and taking your whole page. That's your monthly layout. Then you have a July dashboard, this month's goals. You have a monthly list for the days of the month, all the way down to 31, habits and tasks. You have all kinds of ways to chart projects and progress here. You have every day of the month across here and which day of the week it is. So that's where your habits and tasks line up. You could check off when you're going to be working on certain things, blocking off certain weeks or for certain tasks, or this could be tracking habits. And this has your percentage of progress from 20% to 100%. Like I said, we're not going to spend a lot of time on all these other planners because this was really for the teacher planner to shine and just to introduce you to Papertess and all the options she has. I cannot wait for fall now to see what new things she's bringing out, what layouts, what things will be tweaked a little bit. 2025 yearly overview, a dot grid page. Then you have an overview of the entire year, January through December, every day right here. Boom. You could be tracking your miles walked every day. You could track one habit every day for the whole year, or you could write one little gratitude for every day. There's so many things you could do with that overview if you're not using it for traveling or business or mapping out when certain projects are due, which of course with the manager's notebook, you might be using it for that. You have a look at January through March right here, all at one scope. So Q1 plus a dot grid page opposite for planning. Then you have Q2. I just think this spread is really genius for overview planning, and Q4, and then you have 2 dot grid pages, and then you go straight into your monthly layouts. At the end of this one, you have a really good number. Let's see how many, because it's numbered back here. You have 54 dot grid pages, and that's a lot of room to write in a B5 so that you wouldn't have to carry a separate notebook with you. The inside weekly pages are not numbered in this one, but your notes pages at the back are numbered. Something interesting that I did not note in the manager's notebooks that are different in the 2 different sizes. In the A5 Slim, you have a dot grid page in between every single weekly layout. You do not have that with the bigger size. So in the bigger size, it just goes week to week, no in between page. Also, we'll pop up on the screen the different types of paper that are in each one of these because these are 2 different types of paper, even though they're both manager's notebooks. So that is something to note if you're looking at those. But Papertess has all this information under her product listings, every single piece of information you could need to make a choice. So make sure you read those in detail. That is your manager's notebook. I have seen so many people using this in so many different ways out on social media. Now, this is another one that I've seen really popular on social media, the weekly notebook. Let's start at the beginning of this one. You have a nameplate page. And these are all the Tomoe River paper in here. You have a 2025 at a glance with notes room. You have 2025 the whole year for tracking or planning out vacation or whatnot, or tracking miles walked. This great spread, which we all love for the year. There's room enough to write a gratitude there every day or something that happened. Then you have your monthly layout with notes room at the bottom and across the side. And you have all your months up front in this one. So in the weekly notebook, all your months are up front. This is 3.75 by 7.5, which is the exact same size as like a Hobonichi weeks, in case you guys were wondering. You have 2 blank pages after it, and then look at this weekly spread. I've actually seen this one quite a bit on Instagram too. You have room to write out anything you want there. You have your month up there at a glance. You have your week right here horizontally. You have notes for the week here. Then you have room to put in time slots and put out any appointments or time blocking to see your entire week, like time blocked or appointment wise, at a glance here. And if you use this in a different way, I'd love for you to shout out in the comments so that we can all learn from you. You have 2 tick off box columns. So one could be like personal and work, or it could just be 2 other different areas of your life, or it could just all be continuous. You have some other tick off lists down here. If you have used this weekly notebook, I would love for you to chime in how you've used these columns down here. And then just a note space. I mean, this could probably also be used as a habit tracker. So many lists and tracking could fit on this page, and it's just week after week. All your months are up front, so then you're having all your weeks in here. Then, this is what I love. You have a massive amount of notes pages back here, and they are numbered so you can make an index. You have 238 notes pages on light graph grid in the back. So these could actually be like, a page for every day that you needed to make a daily list. I mean, there's not quite enough for a whole year, but if like you didn't have to make a list every single day, this would cover 238 days out of the year. So any notes you need to make or daily lists in here. This notebook, while the week part is very structured, then you have just complete freedom on blank pages. I would love to know how you use this weekly notebook. So share with us in the comments. Wrapping us up, last but not least, are her Sewn little notebooks and planners. And these can so easily slip into traveler's notebooks, all the ones we love, the beautiful leather ones, and just so many uses for all these. First, this big one is just a dot grid notebook. And this one is the Cosmo Airlight paper. You have a room for a date up here and just write. This would be great for journaling or morning pages or any big mapping out of projects. It is 80 pages. You have cardstock, gold foiling that just looks so classy, sewn on the edge, and it's just a beautifully crafted little slim notebook to take anywhere with you. All right, then we have a number of these traveler notebooks that are 8.25 by about 4.25. It's the nice cardstock and the gold foiling, or maybe that's rose gold on there, and your sewn Papertess designs on the back. I love little sewn notebooks like this. A nameplate page. This is an undated monthly planner. And so you have your year right there at a glance. You have your weeks mapped out here. This kind of mirrors the other planner I showed you where you have quarters divided out and room for notes on the other side. You, of course, will have to date the calendar since it's undated. But I love the typewriter font in this one. So you have all those up front, and then you just go into another notes page, your undated monthly spreads. This is so thin to carry with you in your purse anywhere if you just need a little monthly planner. And being undated, you can start at any time. You have a couple of notes pages, I would say around 10 at the back, and these pages are not numbered. Such a portable little monthly planner. Along those lines, you have a weekly planner that is horizontal edition. Nameplate page, you have blank pages. Then you have your week. It's just your horizontal layout. You date it, the typewriter font, and room over here for all your weekly lists or journaling. And that's the flow of this whole planner. And you have just a couple, like 6 or so notes pages at the back here. Then you have a weekly planner, vertical, undated, so follows the same typewriter font, but you have 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. notes at the bottom. So if you need to note out appointments or time blocking, the vertical is for you. A weekly list, a box up top for weather or dinner or workouts. Same flow as the horizontal. You have just a notebook, grid edition. Pages are numbered for you. 120 pages in this little notebook. So much room, even though it is so small and portable. Same notebook, but instead of grid edition, you can get dot grid. This one does not have numbered pages though. I love the brown on this cover. And then the notebook grid edition, just in a different size. It's numbered all the way to 120 pages. That wraps us up, you guys, for Papertess. I am so happy that I finally got to test out Papertess and introduce her to you. I would love to hear all your thoughts down in the comments because I know I have some Papertess users here already, and I would love you to chime in too if you have not tried Papertess, but that if you're very interested and you would love to try her out. I shared the unboxing and initial thoughts of Papertess with my patrons before this video went up, and I actually had several just out of my patron group tell me that they were interested in trying out Papertess, that they had not really checked her out, that she was new to them. So I'd love to hear in the comments if she's new to you. And now if you are considering something from Papertess, let me know what caught your eye. All right, you know the drill, guys. Take a deep breath in through your nose. All together as a collective community, breathe in as deep as you have all day, the deepest breath you've taken all day, and slowly release through your mouth. And let that exhale be longer than the inhale. And take another one while I'm wrapping us up here. Just keep those deep breaths coming. I'm looking outside at a green tree swaying in the summer wind right now. It's very hot outside here in Texas, but it's beautiful. It looks exactly like summer. Green grass, green trees, a big breeze, a blue sky with clouds in it. Go outside and ground yourself. There is not a day that I don't spend some time outside. I have to be out in nature. I'm telling you, just step outside and take a few deep breaths and you will feel differently. You are doing a great job. Don't forget that. No matter what's in store, you have the capacity to handle it. Thanks for being here, guys. Take care of yourself so you can take care of others. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.